A to the K.
to the K.
To the K.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to the A to the K Wrestling Show. Anthony's getting back into the swing of things because it's our first show of 2023.
It is.
We're back.
I'm having a little bit of deja vu though.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I've been here before.
Yeah, maybe several times.
Several times.
Yeah, turns out our tech is still on vacation. But without further ado. Coming up tonight on the Ringside Report. Uncle Howdy revealed.
Ooh. Chris Jericho tells AEW talent CM Punk will never return.
Never return. AJ Styles unfortunately suffers a broken ankle.
Charlotte Flair makes her return.
It rhymes. Mandy Rose makes $1 million in the month of December.
Sasha Banks makes her New Japan Pro Wrestling debut.
Matt Cardona teases a return at the Royal Rumble.
Loose Women, a UK daytime TV show, discusses the Gothic baby debacle.
Oh. Could Summer Rae be returning to WWE?
And Doudrop reveals her absence is due to sickness.
Damn. Anthony, when's all this coming up?
It's all coming up right fucking now and before.
And the time before that.
And the time before that. And again, probably.
I mean, the first few times we did this was dead good, you know. We just haven't got it in us now.
We're on point.
But anyway, it's New Year. These things happen, and we'll go into it with positivity, shall we? And we'll also come into it with a big reveal, because Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas.
What? No, he isn't. They're totally different people. Bo Dallas doesn't have white hair.
Well, you know, hair dye's a wonderful thing.
Hey!
So, as you may have seen on SmackDown, the Uncle Howdy mask has had a slight makeover, Anthony, and more of the face has now been revealed, which gives us, you know, a little bit more of an insight into who it may be. And just looking at him, it's Bo Dallas.
But I believe next week he's going to have just across the nose, so you'll see his head and his mouth.
Oh, I like it. Kind of like, what's that catchphrase? Is that what they do? Take a little piece away every week.
Say what you see.
And we see Bo Dallas. It's Bo basically. Dallas. So, yeah, if the new mask and the new kind of, insight into his face isn't enough for you, after he hit didn't hit Sister Abigail. That would be bad. After he hit Bray with the Sister Abigail, he went out the ring and he started doing all this with his wrists.
As a little hint.
Which apparently he used to do that when he was Bo Dallas. So, a little bit of an insight.
That being said, it could be a red herring to put us off, but, you know, the fact his face is Bo Dallas's face, that's a big giveaway.
It is. I mean, a brilliant idea you had the first or second or third time we did this was maybe it's not even Uncle Howdy. Maybe it's Brother Bo.
This is the point I was making, yeah, because no one said during the segment that it was Uncle Howdy.
No.
He might just, you know, the family are going to have a resemblance.
This is true.
It is a slightly different aesthetic.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a different character.
Maybe. But yeah, based on it, like what we've seen so far, there's no way it's not Bo at this point. Like we've had people in the past like saying, you know, the Fiend is Bo and that kind of thing, but there was nothing to give that away. You can actually see.
I still don't think
beautiful little chin.
I still don't think Bray was the burnt face Fiend.
He was burnt face Bray.
I think he was already having some time off, and that's why burnt face Bray had his arms covered and everything, so you couldn't see the tattoos because it wasn't Bray. I don't think Bray was ever behind the burnt face mask. Stand by that.
We'll see. One day it'll all come to light
when we have him on the show and ask him.
Yeah, probably. That's what we do now. So yeah, you heard it here first. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy.
Tell you what, you didn't hear here first. I've heard that Dave heard that someone in the AEW locker room heard that Chris Jericho said that CM Punk will never return.
Oh yeah, well I heard. That's childish.
Rumour has it from Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer News is that rumblings between the talent in the AEW locker room was that Chris Jericho has been very clear that CM Punk will never return if he has his way.
Never. Yeah, interesting that. Do you buy it?
No.
Do you buy into it? I don't.
It's a little too disconnected for me. It feels like, you know, he may have just asked for like a drink and then it's got that far down the line.
And, you know, it's not like Chris Jericho has supplied information to Dave Meltzer in the past in WCW and WWE and AEW, supposedly.
Fair. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt because this, even if he has said it, there's no guarantee that this is not some sort of work. We've both discussed previously that, you know, we believe the CM Punk thing may not have been a work initially, but could be getting worked now, and it would make sense for AEW to try and utilise him and repair that relationship.
Yeah. It'd be daft if they didn't. They've got him under contract. They haven't fired him yet. You know, as he likes to post on his own story, because he's like that, he sells a lot of merch.
He does.
And Tony's got a lot of fucking money, and he wants to make more fucking money. So, you know, yeah.
So I think at this point, I think Punk will go back to AEW at some point.
Yeah,
even if it's just out of professionalism.
It seems like it will happen. You know, we would have released him, I think, by now if there was no intention there. So we will see. But yeah, I don't buy it. I think this is Jericho leaking out stuff to Dave to throw people off the scent. I'm not saying that Punk's going to come back and work with, you know, Omega and the Bucks.
I mean, I think that'd be the quickest way to address it. There's already a feud there built. All right, from real stuff, but there's a feud there built.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get past it, then that's the money to make, innit? But if not, then...
imagine if him and FTR, because he can't work yet because he's injured, but imagine if him and FTR screw them out of the trios in the best of 7.
Yeah.
Can they still do that at this point? How many have we had?
Oh no, that'd be like soon.
Yeah.
Maybe not best of 7, but if they win the titles and are holding them, then whenever he does come back... Screwed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a load of BS, to be fair. Punk will be back.
Big Show?
Yeah. Not just BS.
He promised no more BS.
He did. But this is BS, to be fair. This is terrible news. So at a house show this past week, AJ Styles appears to have broken his ankle, which is not ideal. He went on Twitter to basically confirm that he's dealing with a broken ankle, but that he will not require surgery, which I suppose is one positive from it. But he has said this is going to be the longest period he's going to have to spend out of wrestling from his whole career. So I don't know how long it's going to be, but the timing absolutely sucks with the Rumble and WrestleMania just round the corner.
I think this obviously has a big impact for the OC. I've mentioned in the past about Anderson and Gallows. No disrespect to them when I say this, but they're not the main guys. Do you know what I mean? They're always the friends. Like, and it sounds disrespectful, but like people play that part. Do you know what I mean? These guys aren't the members of the faction. They're cool. They have some good matches, but they're not AJ. And they need an AJ. So this may be for me the quickest way to deal with this is to have like maybe Finn Balor sort of take the helm with Anderson and Gallows, because if you leave them by themselves, they start pretending to be doctors and talking about testicles again. Well,
you know, Dominic Mysterio's a bad man now. He could clearly come back and lead the Judgment Day.
He needs Rikishi's old music.
He's got a teardrop tattoo.
Imagine him coming out to Rikishi's old music.
Imagine. I did it for AJ. I don't know. But yeah, they've been talking about doing something with Finn, haven't they? After Mania and stuff like that, giving a bit of a push. So maybe they do.
They've been friends through thick and.
That's fucking genius.
Sorry,
that's the t-shirt right there. See, we didn't have that in any of the other takes of this that we did. So. You know,
so yeah,
it's pretty fruitful.
So that shit joke wasn't even off the cuff. That's been thought about.
Exactly. But no, I think, not that there's ever a good time to break your ankle.
No, I don't think so.
But if you're going to do it, you probably don't want to do it around WrestleMania season, right?
No, definitely not.
But yeah, hopefully it doesn't leave the OC and Mia Yim directionless, because obviously they were starting to build a little bit of a thing there. And I agree with you. It'd be great to see Finn kind of take the helm of that, take on the Judgment Day and keep that going. But who knows what they shall do. But you know what? Absence may make the heart grow fonder, because maybe AJ does need to come back with a bit of fresh impetus about him and be like, do you know what? We've missed this guy. He can be a world champion, because he's just been mid.
I kind of agree with that. Like, it's no disrespect to AJ, but like some of my favourite stars, like one of your memories is like them returning, like Triple H's return. Or Kurt Angle, when Kurt Angle was injured and came back. Yeah. You know, you always remember those moments when they come back and you got to see the crowd be electric and stuff. And AJ's never had to have one of those moments. And like, as daft as it sounds, it might be kind of good that people get to miss him, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, I say.
Indeed. Speaking of absences making the heart grow fonder, Carl. Seamless. This week we saw Charlotte Flair return to SmackDown. She returned to the Women's Championship. She just felt weird not having a belt, so went and took Ronda's. I'm not thrilled about this at all. I'm more than happy to see Charlotte back. She is definitely an integral part of the women's division. She is the legit fucking star in that respect. I know she can be kind of polarising with people, but you can't deny she is a talent. But what bugs me with this is that it's straight back into the title picture, so she can be 14 times now, 14 times.
So she can match her daddy's record.
And for me, this would have been a great opportunity. I think I'm going to steal this from you because in our previous take that didn't work.
Which one?
You mentioned like the slight flip on this because she come in, she took the belt from Ronda. If that involved Raquel and the feud ultimately would have been Raquel Charlotte, that would have helped elevate Raquel. And instead what they've done is they've gone, fuck that, we'll go to what we always do. So we're back in that area of people she's already fought millions of times. I don't like it.
No, the biggest bugbear, obviously, I hate WrestleMania 9. And the big bugbear with this is it was essentially that. It was like Ronda Rousey defeated Raquel, and then all of a sudden Charlotte comes down, makes a challenge, and the champion goes, yeah, I'll fight again after just going through a grueling match. Stupid. Who would do that? It's a stupid thing to do. Fucking Raquel there going, yeah, you go and win the belt.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can. It's like basically it's like on the nose. They must have been doing it on purpose. Like Charlotte Flair is the Hulk Hogan of the women's division. Like, come on. So it bothered me.
Let me tell you something.
But to be fair, it's nice to see Charlotte back. I know there was a period of time where we were like, God, she's on everything.
But they had a NXT, Raw and SmackDown one week.
She was
to that point. He was fucking everywhere, man.
So yeah, it's nice that she's back anyway.
But it's to that point, isn't it? Absence make the heart grow fonder, as you say. She needed some time away out of our faces because people were getting a bit overdone with the amount of Charlotte you were getting. So.
Yeah, too much Charlotte, man. But yeah, let's see where it goes.
Speaking of seeing where it goes.
So if you get fired by WWE, it's fine. Just create a FanTime account and you can make $1 million, just like Mandy Rose. Mental. So
absolutely mental.
Obviously people were very upset when she got released, and quite rightfully so. I don't think she should ever be released for just making her own content. I mean, whatever.
To be honest, this just solidifies her point because the rumour has it that they said remove your account, and she was like no, and they were like remove it or we're fired, and she was like no, and you go okay, they told her they'd release her if she didn't, she chose not to, it's her choice, and now we know why. Because she would never have made this kind of money with WWE in a month.
God, no. Of course not.
So it's clearly profitable.
Somebody, I don't know how true it is, somebody posted something, didn't they, saying that Drew McIntyre makes $500k a year or something, and she'd already made that halfway through the month of December, so now she's made a full $1 and Drew makes that in a year. So it just goes to show, it's certainly more lucrative to stick with what she was doing. So fair play to her. It's she can wipe her tears with her money, her cold hard cash.
They fired me.
Whatever will I do? Check out what I did on my new picture set. On my, you know what I mean? But fair play to her. You go get it. Go get that cash.
Making that money.
But yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Fair play to her. Yeah. Like, it's a stupid decision by WWE, but if she can make that kind of cash, and obviously it sounds horrible, innit? But she's not gonna have them look forever, and people aren't gonna want to pay to see her pictures forever. So it's like,
I still think the reason WWE have got a problem with it is because it's a market that is cornered majoritatively by women.
Yeah,
like they wouldn't be able to go, well, let's push Drew onto this because only you'd subscribe. So like, whilst they would get fans, they wouldn't make the kind of money she's making. Yeah. So it's an area that she can make a ton of money from without them, and they can't tap into it. And I think that's half the problem.
Yeah. Just thinking now, go over to my page to see me swinging my sword. Subscribe. But yeah, so it's ludicrous, but she seems to be doing okay for herself after her release.
I think she's going to be fine.
I think she'll be just okay.
Speaking of Mone.
Hey, that was good. That wasn't in the other ones either. God.
Sasha Banks, Carl, as a lot of people may have known if they watch Wrestle Kingdom 17, has made her debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes,
and this was an interesting debut, Carl. So she came out, she's sporting a new look, as you'll see from the hairstyle, meant to represent
meant
flames.
To be flames.
Yeah.
Not a cheetah print. Flames.
Whoops. Yeah. But she's come out sporting a new look, new name. You know, she's no longer the boss. She's been promoted. She's the CEO.
CEO now.
So she shook hands with Kairi Sane, turned on a little bit, botched the DDT as you do, cut a promo, and the concerning bit, Carl, I don't want to sound all negative because it may just be how it plays. I've not really watched New Japan or Wrestle Kingdom in the past, to be honest. This Wrestle Kingdom was stacked, so you're kind of compelled to see it. But in previous years, I've not really bothered. But there wasn't the same sort of response from the crowd.
No.
that you normally get. And I don't know if that's like a Japan thing or whether that's just like it wasn't as over as they were expecting. I just don't know. I'm hoping she has an absolutely fantastic run with New Japan. The way she debuted and lifted the belts and all this sounds like she's definitely going to do some work for New Japan, at least for the foreseeable. So
does that mean she can't be Soraya's partner?
Well, this is the thing. We know that New Japan and AEW have worked together in the past, so it's not necessarily a deal breaker. But it looks like they're pushing her towards going for the Kari's title and having a feud with Kari. So I guess it's not AEW for now.
Anything's possible in the world of wrestling.
I mean, to be fair, if she is going to be Soraya's partner, it's not going to be to challenge for the title. So it's not to say that she can't go for the New Japan title and do some sporadic appearances for AEW. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
But what we do know is she's not in WWE.
This is true. But yeah, so fair play. It'd be very interesting to see exactly where she does end up, whether how long she'll be with New Japan for, and whether she will, explore the other promotions. I guess. I mean, she's going to run out eventually, though. She's the boss in WWE, the CEO in New Japan. The fucking janitor in Impact. By the time she gets there, who knows? Yeah. We will see. And speaking of teasers, I don't know, but Matt Cardona, the big tease, on a recent Twitter post looking back on his year in 2022, basically asked the question, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in 2023 to top 2022. He put, leave your comments in 10, 9, 8, alluding, of course, to the Royal Rumble. And he's done this a lot, hasn't he? Let's be fair. He's constantly teasing potential returns to WWE, the like.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I honestly think, I wouldn't be surprised if he rocked up at the Rumble. Right? As much as he's teasing it, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did. But that's not to say he's going to be with WWE. We've seen that quite a lot recently. We saw Mickie James, the most notable, being currently active with TNA and turning up.
I mean, we talk about the Forbidden Door being blown wide open. That is still the biggest Forbidden Door moment in it.
In all fairness,
current Impact Knockouts champion appearance.
As much as I would love to have seen her gone, I genuinely, and in hindsight, logistically, it would have been a nightmare to work with the two companies like that. But I would have loved to have seen her win the Rumble and go on to Mania as TNA versus WWE for Mania. Would have been fucking brilliant.
God, absolutely.
But they didn't pull the trigger on that, and that's probably due to some sort of logistics on deals and money and who should win and all that kind of bollocks. But like you say, that's the biggest sort of Forbidden Door moment, and whilst this wouldn't be a big, because he's on the indies and has the freedom to do so, it wouldn't be a big Forbidden Door thing. It'd be awesome to see him rock up as his incarnation now on a level like Matt Cardona.
As Matt Cardona,
but this,
or
I think as Matt Cardona. I think he's definitely going to stick to being Matt. The trouble we're going to have is if he's signed to WWE in any sort of long term, it's not going to feel right, is it? It's not. He can't be the edgy Matt that he is now. He'd have to be some sort of weird hybrid between Zach and him. Maybe Zach Cardona.
Matt Ryder.
Beyond the mat.
Anyway.
Run, Matt, run!
But, yeah, I don't know. I could see it, to be fair. I think you made the joke on one of the previous 7 takes.
Maybe.
Does he just have to follow Cody Rhodes now wherever he goes?
Yeah.
Basically. But I think I predicted in the Wild Predictions episode that we would get to see that. So hopefully... Yeah, because I want to be right. Who doesn't love being right?
You do like being right.
I do. This next one.
Right, okay, so for those who don't know, in the UK we have a daytime TV show that's hosted by a group of middle-aged women it's called The Loose Women.
Yes, kind of like The View.
Kind of like The View, but apparently the loose, whatever that means.
Skin.
Right? So the reason we're mentioning it on a wrestling show, Carl, is because they recently discussed a relatively popular video on TikTok around a gothic baby, as you can see on the screen here. Why is that relevant to wrestling? This is Matt Hardy's child.
Matt Hardy's gothic baby?
Matt Hardy's gothic baby.
No way.
So it turns out the account that was posting the video was Rebby. And they have basically decided to just throw shade at Rebby's sort of style choices for her child, who's basically not old enough to make style choices for itself, so therefore she did, as anyone does. My child wears wrestling t-shirts and stuff. I don't think he's ever watched one. It is what it is.
Why not?
Anyway, so the point initially I want to make is there's nothing harmful about this. Like, they were talking about, like, the gothic sort of look is dark and it's horrible and, it's toxic and you shouldn't encourage that and everything should be fucking rainbows and colourful because it's children.
Fucking opinion.
Which, again, is even that is still just a style choice.
Yeah.
That's like, where do you draw the line? Well, you can't do the room pink. You might not like pink. Let's keep everything just neutral tones.
Here you go, baby. Here's all the paints. You paint your room however you like.
And he passed out from the fumes, but
exactly.
The choice was his.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous that like they go like all I see in that video is like her having a bit of fun and a happy child. Like, I don't see any harm or any issue in it. I mentioned in one of our previous takes, even the stuff that was like into the gothic subculture, like she had like a teddy of like Krampus, who's like the opposite of Santa or whatever it is. But it wasn't like scary or terrifying in any way. It was like a cute Krampus. It wasn't like, I don't think anything in there, despite being in the gothic theme, it wasn't like they had like the clown from Terrifier just fucking looking over his crib or anything like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like terrifying stuff. It was just part of that graphic. Yeah. And a lot of it, this isn't the reason Rebby's done it, but a lot of this sort of style is being popularized at the minute through the popularity of Wednesday, the TV series on Netflix. So the gothic sort of style is becoming a bit popular. And what I took umbrage with, and the reason I want to talk about it here today, is we've had this sort of issue in the past. I don't know if you remember the sort of tragic story of Sophie Lancaster in this country, where her and her boyfriend were attacked and sadly murdered. And basically part of that investigation the police were looking into was like, and apologies because I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but like a lot of it was suggesting that the attack was down to the fact that they both they were goth and part of the gothic subculture, and that was the reason they were attacked, because again you put that negative sort of belief on goth, that kind of thing, and they're basically sat promoting that kind of twattery, going it's not right, it's toxic. It's like, people just choose to style like the way you choose to be horrible old women, like they've chose to be goth. It's just is what it is, So I don't really see the problem, but they're trying to suggest it's one. I think it's not not the best sort of thing to put on your platform to say that's bad, that's a bad thing, when nothing bad's actually happening.
Clearly a slow news day for them if that's what they're going to take umbrage with. Do you know what I mean? Like, what, because the kid is dressed up in a certain way? Like, the kid's not harmed or hurt or anything like that. Yeah. They're just, that's how their kid dresses. It's not a big deal. Might
surprise you to know that none of us dress how our parents dressed us as children anymore.
No, exactly.
We started picking our own clothes.
I don't know, I occasionally like to wear my little bonnet. But that's just me.
The amount of like knitted hats I wear has really, really dropped. But it is what it is.
Here's a chart we made. But yeah, very strange.
But so I thought I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it a little bit, because I thought it was a really stupid take. Yeah. And honestly, part of me slightly annoyed as a wrestling fan that they didn't even realise that it was Matt Hardy's kid.
Yeah. Well, you said that there was a thing in Rebby's video.
In Rebby's video, she makes a joke about John Cena, or John Cena reference, and it just, because they didn't bother doing any research, didn't realise like that they were famous, didn't realise that he was a famous wrestler, didn't pick up on the references. And I know you can go, you don't expect them to, but say, well, I don't know, like if we're going to talk about something, we try and research it. I know it doesn't seem like that, guys, when you watch it, but we try and research it. So like the fact they didn't even know, like. Yeah. Didn't even mention the WWE wrestler, or AEW wrestler Matt Hardy or anything like that. They're just like, let's just talk about the Gothic Baby.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because Gothic Baby is now like famous anyway. Like, thanks TikTok.
Fair play. And apparently the most famous Hardy if you're the Loose Women, because they don't.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently,
but yeah, mental. No. So eventually I now learnt about this item of news, because the first time we did this I didn't know.
Now you know.
So Summer Rae or Danielle Monnier may be making a return to WWE. Possibly.
They needed more Mone.
More Mone. Now that Sasha went, they need more Mone.
Less Mone. Now they have more Mone.
Yes, they do. But Summer Rae was recently spotted backstage at, I think it was Raw, or one of the
Raw.
Was it Raw?
Yeah. I don't know, because it was very red. And that's their colour scheme, isn't
it? Yeah, it's their colour scheme. So,
like, it's spotted backstage, sounds like she was hiding somewhere.
Yeah. She snuck into the arena, trying to get back working for WWE. But no, she was spotted.
WWE bringing out book, where's Mone?
But yeah, that could mean not absolutely nothing. She could just be visiting friends, or she could be there because she wants to return. Don't really know, to be honest.
It was summertime.
It was
Monday Night
summertime. It was rays of sun. What did I think that's where they got it from? Summer Ray.
Maybe.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe she'll be back.
Maybe.
She was back at the Rumble last year, wasn't she?
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. Is it just going to be another Rumble appearance because that's coming up, or are we talking some sort of long-term deal?
Maybe not.
We don't know.
Do you know what's annoying is maybe she was there because they were bringing her in for the Rumble, and now someone's like papped her, or like she's posted a picture. They've gone, well, they're not going to be a surprise now.
That's the trouble, yeah.
And
you know what? It might be that given WWE's history of random GM type roles, she might just be coming to run Raw with Adam Pearce.
Who knows?
Why knows?
Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe.
I said maybe. So, Carl, Doudrop, or Piper Niven, because I prefer that name, right? Has that doesn't feel right, does it? I don't care what you're calling yourself, you pipe. Anyway, Doudrop has had to recently clarify that. Recently clarify why she's not on our screens. So I think a lot of people believe that she maybe weren't being used correctly in WWE, or she
like a visa issue. Sort of
jobbed out. There were some suggestions of a visa issue as well, and she's got to the point where had to clarify that she's actually been sick. Yeah. And it's an interesting choice of words as well, because she didn't say she was injured. She said she'd been.
She said, I've been very sick.
Been very sick.
So obviously you don't want to speculate. But
we don't know. We don't know what's up, but we know that she's been off due to some sort of sickness. And the reason I think it's newsworthy is because, she was on TV quite a lot. And she seemed to be getting a bit of a push, although some people would argue again, sort of jobbed out into obscurity, and that's why we didn't see her. But I wouldn't say everything she did on the main roster was a hit, but they certainly had an interest in promoting her on TV and trying to get her over. And then suddenly nothing, and you go, well, what's going on there? Well, apparently this is the case, and I sincerely hope now she's on the mend, and we hopefully get her back on TV soon, that we'll get perhaps a repackaged. I think we discussed this before in the Lost Take, that this might be a time that Triple H can review it and go, well, let's bring back Piper the Viper rather than the Doudrop experiment, as it were.
Yeah.
And maybe
which I think would be cool. Like, to be fair to her, she took that Doudrop stuff completely. I was going to say took the Doudrop on the chin, but that sounds like something else. But she rolled with it, didn't she? And she made the best that she could out of it. Chicken salad out of chicken shit, as I like to say. And she did fine. So I think she deserves to get a chance as Piper the Viper in WWE.
Unless Randy's got something to say about it.
Well, he's not there, is he?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do, Randy? So yeah, hopefully, first and foremost, hopefully she gets over whatever sickness she's been dealing with, and hopefully we do get to see her soon. I think, I'm sure Triple H will be a big fan of adding her to the women's division and stuff as well. So
agreed.
We will see.
We will.
And that's it for the third time today, but first time for you guys. Yeah. Here's where we check this at the end, and this also went bad, in which case
you're not getting nothing this week.
No.
But you'll never know.
You'll get something, because we've peaked. We've peaked this week.
We started off the year just too high.
Yeah, basically, we got brought right back down to earth, and we can't get our fucking tech sorted out.
Yeah, there's that.
We've peaked because there's one of our best, if not the best interviews, or biggest interviews of all time, at least. So, absolute pleasure that we had before.
Indeed.
Check that out.
It's exciting. So I can't wait to watch it, and I was there.
Exactly. And obviously that's going to be on Pro Wrestling TV.
Yeah, it is.
Hopefully is where you're watching us right now. If you're not and you're watching us on YouTube, that's completely cool. We appreciate it. But go and check out Pro Wrestling TV as well. Download it for free, as well as looking at our beautiful faces when we actually get it right and we upload stuff. Yes. You can see amazing stuff. You can see our local promotion, TNT Wrestling, based out of Liverpool.
Proper undersold, isn't it? As well as seeing us, you can see amazing stuff. Like, thanks.
Yeah. They already know we're amazing. I should have said they can see more amazing stuff. So TNT, they can see, it's obviously the home of Major League Wrestling now. Obviously, we had current champion Alex Hammerstone on the show recently.
Certainly did.
Super cool dudes. You can check that out as well. But we've got Warrior Wrestling on there. We've got New South. We've got Women's Wrestling Army, Maria Kanellis.
Triple
A's on
Watch
there.
Previous Triple Manias on there. Get some other events.
There's other documentaries and stuff. And talk shows.
Mania.
Yeah, Alicia Red's got her own show on there, so go and check it all out.
Tons of shit.
And obviously, who wants to do Dry January?
We don't. You're sat down, you're watching Mania because we've just recommended it on Pro Wrestling TV. Exactly. What are you going to want? You're going to want a Top Rope Brewing beer.
Yes, you are. And you know what? You can head over to topropebrewing.com and use our code A10 for 10% off. They've got amazing wrestling-themed beers, pop culture-themed beers, and they're all delicious. We've sampled them, and we can vouch for that.
So start your drunk January today.
Indeed. And you know what? The weather's going to start getting warmer soon, so you probably need to get some new t-shirts for that. So head over to Pro Wrestling Tees and get all of our latest merch, as well as our recent designs from our partners, Alt Wrestling Tees, as well.
Indeed. Fantastic designs.
We've got House of Purple, and they're working on a little something else for us at the moment.
They are. But as well as us, Carl, they also have a number of other wrestling-themed t-shirts. They have one promoting indie wrestling, which I think I may have shared on our socials the other day. But fantastic design, fantastic message. As well as that, he's got I always mention it with the Jake Hager's purple hat one. We've got ones relating to your favourite, the Acclaimed. There's just a ton of different designs on there. Whoever your wrestling sort of fandom, wherever it turns, there'll be something there that you can enjoy.
Even just if you like wrestling, there's just generic like pro wrestling's fucking awesome.
Exactly, wrestling related in general.
So go and check them out on Instagram as well, Alt Wrestling Tees, and they've obviously got their own Redbubble shop where you can purchase all those.
Yes, you can.
But finally, on the third take of this, we will say thank you and goodbye.
Nice.